going to actually load? Or is it going to just pretend to load and just stand here and tell me that it's trying to load? All right, there it goes. All right, YouTube is up. Facebook is up. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Just thought I would sit down, do another cardio session for you guys. I want to keep it lively, keep it going. I'm going to keep this one positive and in a good flow. Just going to keep nonsense out, stay on topic. Going to drink my last bit of coffee here for the day. Again, if you're working on losing body fat, coffee can blunt appetite. Helps you burn calories too. Great combination. I'm a big fan. All right, I've recorded the training vlog also for the day. I will have it up here in a bit. Training vlog will be up here later. I've already done it. I just need to make the thumbnail, get it uploaded on both YouTube and Facebook. We are streaming on both YouTube and Facebook. Had a good workout today. Pretty happy with it overall. I got a pretty sizable dip PR. Like, I'm getting stronger at the dips. This is another reason it's like I'm going to keep sodium loading and keeping those electrolytes crazy high, even if it's stopping the scale from whooshing down in a deficit, because, man, the performance benefits. Keeping my sodium and potassium really high right now is working wonders, just for keeping strength and performance and everything really high. So I've been happy with that. You know, we're seeing the lifts go up in spite of doing hours of fasted cardio. Even the sled work feels like it's getting easier. The sled work was actually pretty easy today. Christina, no, nutritionists don't tell you to worry about coffee. We are live. Yes, we are, Dean. We are live. So she says, are you worried about the toxins and mold nutritionists say coffee contains? Nutritionists aren't telling you that. Bunch of goofball clown gurus. I mean, are you really serious, dude? Come on. Out of all the things to be worried about, more whole foods like this is way down your list of concerns. You need to be worried about alcohol. You need to be worried about refined sugars, butter, garbage food, right? Thoughts on tempo pen bench versus regular tempo bench. I'm not a big fan of tempo work in general. Jacob says, might have to try that. I'm on a cut currently. Are you talking about more coffee? Yeah, it's a viable, absolutely viable. Scott says coffee is good for you. I mean, like everything else. I think for most people, the net positives of coffee outweigh the net negatives. I think people get hung up on individual mechanisms of foods, and they're like, yeah, I'm not looking into your nonsense. Get out of here with your, I don't do bougie fitness, by the way. I don't do hippie fitness. We don't do bougie fitness. Just stop. No salt plus potassium. Coach, did you do age? I've never been on carnivore. What are you talking about? Dude, my diet is mostly carbohydrates, right? I mean, I obviously eat animal source proteins. So, I mean, I literally have some meat, some eggs, some dairy every single day, at least a little bit of each of those three. But my diet is mostly carbohydrates and then healthy fats. So what are you talking about? Is bench press the best upper body exercise? No, but it's a pretty dang good one, right? It's a pretty dang good one. But yeah, when we talk about foods being good versus bad for you, I think what people get hung up on is individual mechanistic stuff instead of looking at the totality. Because you can literally find something wrong with any food that you eat, right? So you can go through and look at different foods and you'll notice every individual food, broccoli or chicken breast or whatever it happens to be, has hundreds of effects in the body. And a few of them will be negative. But when you look at it, is the sum total effect positive or negative on your body? And that's usually what we're looking for. You know, I mean, like if you have a food that absolutely causes atherosclerosis, that's not a good thing, you know. But if you're worried about minor things like, oh, it's an acidic food, I'm sorry, but that's just nonsense, right? We're still looking at the net total positive versus negative. You're over here worried about an individual component again. Caffeine. So what? So we need to be looking at this coffee consumption, the net total effect when you look at it, positive health outcomes. The answer is yes, right? Coach, touch and go good enough for benching? No, right? No. not at all. Touch and go bench, really. I mean, I have clients who do it, but I give them a hard time. Occasionally I get people like, how come your client didn't do a pause? I'm like, believe me, I give them a harder time sometimes than you guys do. I pause my stuff. You know, I pause my benching. Here's the thing, Tychus. How much touch and go is it? Is it a very soft touch or are you bouncing? If you're bouncing, absolutely not. You're losing pec stimulus. If your touch is literally control, soft touch, like it barely makes skin contact and it doesn't unload on the touch and go, then it's good, right? So if you're barely making contact, but you're not unloading the weight on the touch and go, then I'm going to say it's okay. But if there's any bounce, you're absolutely losing pec stimulus. You would be better off just pausing. If you can't touch and go without bouncing, makes sense? Because otherwise you're losing pec stimulus. Now, when you pause, unless you're using a lot of leg drive, you're forced to use the pecs out of the bottom. The same thing on a very soft touch and go for volume and hypertrophy. Okay. If it's a very soft touch, then I will say, yes, it is absolutely okay. And it's great. All right. So we're going to see if this person is a brand new account because they sure are arguing a whole lot. Somebody who just joined. Yeah, we just getting rid of you. We don't need people who come in here, make new accounts and come in and argue. Yeah, get the hell out. This is probably not the right channel for you. Next. If you're like into hippie fitness, you're probably not going to like me. Yes, I'm into whole foods. Yes, I think we should eat ridiculous amounts of fruits and vegetables, but I don't do hippie fitness. Oh, you should be worried about the bowl and coffee. Yeah, you're not going to get along with me. Get out of here. Now, if you're saying, hey, we should be worried about the poison in alcohol, all right. I think caffeine jumped in. I think maybe so. Yeah, caffeine might have took his lunch money as a kid or something one day. Like caffeine beat him up and took his lunch money. Some coffee got a hold of him and beat him up, took his lunch money as a kid, and he hates coffee or something. You know? Like, I mean, I get it if it's something really bad, like we're saying, yeah, the poison in alcohol is horrible. Hey, John, I've been allowing you to post your nonsense on the comments, but the live stream is for fitness only. You're dropping political stuff in my live stream. So now you're going to lose all your posting privileges. I've been allowing your nonsense in the comments, but live stream, all non-fitness stuff, you get banned from the channel. You know the rule. Coach, is someone who trains fasted, when do you eat your last meal? Ideally, you want me to tell you what's ideal or what I've been accidentally doing because I get up a little hungry? So some lately a little bit, I've been getting up at 6 or 7 or like passing out at 6:30 and then waking up at 7 and grabbing a little protein. Ideally, I'm trying to cut my food off around 4. I'm trying to do about a 4-hour feed window. I will fix that later, but it's been mostly protein type stuff. So this is why I have to get everything dialed in a little bit tighter, make sure the satiety's high. So again, adding more potatoes in, keeping tons of vegetables in. I'm going to start focusing on drinking a lot more water before bed. So again, usually the idea. So that's what I'm trying to do is around a 4-hour feed window. So maybe about 4 o'clock. Yeah, sometimes I go to bed really well. I mean, I'm up working sometimes at 3 or 4. You know, sometimes I'll set my alarm sometimes for 4, like if I want to do certain types of cardio, but I might wake up at 3 o'clock. So then I end up going to bed really early. I keep leftover steak in the fridge to snack on. I mean, I have protein right there, Richard. You know, I have chicken breasts in the fridge. I've got Greek yogurt. Right. So because I've been doing that really early morning cardio because it was so hot, and then I need it for, you know, the phone and everything, I've gotten into the habit of waking up like 4 a.m. Right. And then once that habit set, I sometimes wake up even without an alarm. So, I mean, I might even do on those days set my alarm for 4 and I'm up at 3:30 sometimes. And so I get up and do my thing. So sometimes I'll pass out early because I'm going to sleep a minimum of 8 hours. But just got the call. I'm here. Hey, welcome aboard, Peppermint. You missed the first one, dude. Get them likes up, though, guys. We're live. You're definitely live. Anything happening on Facebook? No. I better get in there and hit mine on Facebook. See if any of the regulars come in Facebook. Also. Right. But, you know, it will be, the Facebook one gets a lot of views after a lot of times. It might not always get as many during, and then sometimes it'll get 1,000 views later. Coach, it is. I don't think it made it in my feed. Oh, man, that sucks. Hey, Tychus, but Coach, you just said tempo bench. So why? I don't understand your question. Please ask it a different way. No, I don't believe that carrying. Like when you say tempo, to me, that means you're counting reps. Like the people who are counting their timing, no, on lifts. I'm not a believer in that. There's no evidence or reason to think spending a lot of time worried about that's a good idea. So no, I don't care about tempo training. We need whatever guys start writing the little tempo numbers, 330, just stop, guys. Just train, just control the weight. You don't need to intentionally do everything at specific speeds. RPE, I don't believe in that scale either. The RPE scale shouldn't exist. If it does, it should be only 9 or 10. That's it. There should be nothing ever used besides 9 or 10 on the RPE scale. You had 1 rep from failure, or you reached failure, or you were 0 reps from failure. That's like it, dude. Why can't we just use that rep in reserve instead of RPE? I hate the RPE scale. And dudes misuse it. Dudes will grind out a rep that would fail in a meet and call it RPE 8. Like, are you kidding? All right, Marco, I feel like self-proclaimed science-based influencers sometimes give even worse info than the bros. They literally do. Like doing exclusively based on isolation because they're better than motor unit recruitment, but it's not better motor unit recruitment, right? It's not. Is a 355 safety squat ass to grass pretty good at 185? You're asking me too many variables, PS. That's a lot of qualifiers. So 23 years old puts you in the open. Okay? You're now in the open. 23 to 39 is the open age class for powerlifting. So if you're using age as a qualifier, when you soon as second you put 23, not 19, not 17, 23, you're comparing yourself to John Hack. You're comparing yourself to Caleb Woolham. You're now in the open age class. So you get no handicap points for age. So, I mean, it's decent, but you need to keep getting stronger, PS5. Keep working on it. Keep going up. Science-based crowd are insane. Some of them are 23 years old. I mean, yeah. So you're in the open age class. No, Ted, I didn't hear that. I'm not even going to read that out loud. Me even saying that could be bad for the algorithm because I'm also on Facebook, not just YouTube. We're not going to say the name of all them street jokes. Coach, for shoulders, is 3 sets of overhead press, side delts, and rear delt flies enough volume for the week? Probably. Coach, it took me about a year to reach a 365 squat in my near 405. If I keep going, you are. Actually, Tychus, I'm going to give you some props. In spite of your other questions, of me giving you a hard time, reaching a 365 squat in a year is very respectable. You're doing above average. Let's put it that way. That is above average progress for someone on a good program. So I'm going to give you a fist bump of respect for that, even though I gave you a hard time on the other, about the RPE, because, real is real. Yeah, you're closing in on a 405. Keep going. Unbelievable persistence says science-based symptoms, man. Probably got. I'm not going to go there either. We're not going to discuss politics and social issues like that. For 5 years consistently, is that pretty bad? Not necessarily PS5, but keep going, keep improving. Right? Thank you, Coach. You're welcome, Tychus. So, Tychus, I mean, I'm a fair dude. Like, I can give you a hard time about one thing you say and still give you credit when you've done something good. You're doing good. Keep going. I'm learning squat, bench, deads, press, and dips, and pull-ups is all we need. I mean, you might want some curls. Depends on the person, though. Some guys get good enough biceps off of their pull-ups. Not necessarily great biceps. PS5 says that I'm all natural. And PS5, you're still base building. Keep going. Keep putting in the work. I mean, again, the problem is you're also talking a safety bar squat and trying to compare it over. So just keep improving. So what's your actual back squat with a barbell? Hey, Tychus, I'm not going to address any of that sort of stuff. I'm going to stay away from all drama from now on. I'm going to stay away from all that. This is about fitness, right? We don't care about that nonsense. We don't care. How many calories does caffeine burn? I don't know. It probably burns a little bit. I don't know if we have exact numbers. I think it's going to depend on your coffee tolerance, but it definitely helps, especially like I'm drinking all this coffee fasted. Doing fasted cardio while drinking coffee, fasted training while doing coffee. It's going to help some, right? It's going to help some. Plus, it's appetite suppressing on top of it. So that's a double win. No questions on Facebook yet. The first one had like 5 people drop through. Oh, well, we just keep it flowing. I've seen 1 milligram each 1 calorie. That seems probably high to me. Yeah, Tychus, I'm not going to address that rumor, man. I did hear that rumor, though. Coach, if we work up to it, is there any downside to 20 minutes of moderate cardio, post-lifting a few times a week as an MMA post? No, I don't see a problem. I mean, dude, I literally just did sled work after my lifting, and I'm over here doing like an hour and a half already of fasted cardio still. So, no, you're fine, dude. You're good. Yes, I've never did back squat for 2 years because it came with bar squat, which is 380 acid grass, 85 safety bar. I mean, you're making good progress. So since we don't know necessarily what your back squat is, you're probably okay. Coach, why do they call you the Nobu Prince? I don't know, Ted. I don't even know what that means. What is a Nobu? Do I need to go to Urban Dictionary? Somebody tell me what a Nobu is. Lars says, hi, Coach. What's up, Lars? What's going on, Lars? But Ted, we're taking Ted's bench out a little more now, guys. I made him do a more medium grip. We're going to work on his wider grip bench. Ted's got to get some teddies. All right, we got to build that chest up more since he's going to power lift. All right. Got to build them D cups so you can do the teddy bounce like Coach. All right. I'm going to get so much hate for that. Haters going to be like, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. Your big fat bamboo flopping around on the TV, on the screen. I threw up in my own mouth and then swallowed it. How much weight is barbell squat? Is way stronger? Up to about 10%, depending on the person. So you might be at a 405 squat. Coach, how did you learn how to teddy? It just came natural, man. You just have to have body control, right? You just got to have body control. That's it. I mean, if you have a big bench, you have control of your chesticles, right? The Prince of Cursed Spirits. I don't know this reference. It's like some anime stuff. You guys about to bust some Dragon Ball Z out on me. All right. Or whatever. Pikachu. All that stuff. I don't know, dude. I don't know this whole anime thing. It's not my gig. This one guy put in here who just looks like really juiced like crazy. He's all bright red in his profile picture. He put in my last vlog or one of these earlier. You look really terrible, bro. Go back to the drawing board. And I wrote back, your mom looks terrible. Coach ain't on that anime stuff, man. I just don't know anything about it. It's not my gig, man. I just don't find it interesting personally. All right. We're talking medieval peasants this week. Yeah, we're not talking about medieval peasants. Nobody's bringing up medieval peasants in here today. Coach, do you think medieval peasants would have really strong squat benches and deadlifts? Like, what are you guys smoking? Where do people come up with this stuff? Like, where do they come up with this? You got to wonder sometimes. Like, what's wrong with people? But PS5, you might be at a 405 squat. Go get under a normal bar and see where you're at, man. SSB is generally harder, but for some people it is equal. For some people it's about 10% different. So you could be at a 405 with a little practice, and then it would be okay, right? Because I would say the 405 would be respectable. 5 years of training, 185. I think a 405 squat is very respectable at that point, right? But I mean, you're not weak. I mean, you have a safety bar. You said ass to grass 355 at 185. That's not weak. I mean, don't get me. I'm not saying you're like some weak dude. Like nobody's really gonna clown you outside of really hardcore powerlifting circles. Like honestly, Coach, you inspired me to look into strength of older civilizations when you brought up Milo of Croton years ago. Yep, good old Milo. The story of Milo and the bull. I could write a blues song about it. I'm not gonna bust out the guitar, don't worry, guys. All right. But let's gotta pick this pace up. Gotta keep burning through. So the idea here is to stave off me eating till it's the feed window. I might even try to put it off till a little later if I can. But I don't know how much of this cardio I can stand. I might need to go to the bathroom at some point in here. But if I get up and do that, people drop out. They're like, oh, he's gone. And then like 10 people leave. I can't be having that. See, now even the views are picking up. Like for the Blaha brand, appreciate it, Carol. We're also in Facebook if you want to drop through there too. But yeah, no, dude, Milo of Croton. Milo of Croton's a great story. And it's a great historical reference when it comes to lifting because that is our first documented case of progressive overload. That's why we always say Milo of Croton is the father of progressive overload. You know, because his story of carrying the bull every day. Sorry, my skin is flicking on my forehead. Right? Marco, man, I get really, really tired of answering that every single day, 20 times, man. No offense, but dude, you guys have to quit asking me 20 times a day. Peppermint's laughing. It's like nonstop. What did you weigh today? What did you weigh today? What did you do today? What did you weigh today? Like all day long on Facebook. Go ask it on Facebook. I get paid for it there. So ask me on Facebook instead. All right. At least I get paid for it there. We're still not under 210. That's why Peppermint's laughing. We've been joking about it in these streams. Ever since Coach brought me up on it, I see it every live. And it's new people. It's 255, strict deficit, pin lay row. Wow, gee, why do you guys come up with so many long qualifiers? That's just too much. I'm not answering it because there's too many qualifiers, man. I'm not even going to answer that. I'm looking forward to see. We are going to continue to lean out, but we don't have to necessarily drop the water to lean out. I bumped my salt and stuff way up because it's improving my performance on the workouts. Like my workout sessions are going good. The cardio is going good. Like even my sled work is feeling easier and easier. I hit dip PRs today. I got 12 reps on those deep dips with the 55 today. Started from that, I got 12 reps on all the sets. I've been doing 8s. What do you think of the bells of steel? It's pretty good. I mean, I have one. So as far as belt squats go, for anything under about $2,000 is probably the best one you're going to find, right? I mean, not everyone's got the space and budget for the West Side. The CBD have a good pen layer. Yeah, it's decent. Assuming, yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I've done that for like 12, 13 reps before. But were you maxing on a pen layer? I'm not sure why we're necessarily maxing on a pen layer, right? But, by all means, carry on. I think it's decent. I think it's a decent Pendley. It says me. It says Cochino. You know what, guys? If you guys will please all stay in the chat, I feel like I need to take a very quick break, refill my coffee, and I'm going to come back. Right? Hopefully this didn't kill all the views. There we go. All right. Well, I wanted to refill my coffee. Here, guys. All right. Got that camera logo. So now I can do 10 reps, but do it with a 5-second tempo. What are you guys talking about? Tempos, man. You guys spend way too much time focusing on tempo work. Like for Great Coach. Appreciate it, Merrick. Over here in the Facebook. All right, let's get back over here. I think the views stayed pretty. Yeah, we didn't lose any viewers, man, when I stepped out. I think as I told everyone, I'm stepping right out. I'll be right back. I had forgotten you have guitars. Right? Let there be rock. Right? I said, let there be light. And there was a light. Let there be guitars. And there was guitars. All right. Pancake tips for depression. I feel tired all the time. You might need to go get your testosterone test. Why don't you get under a heavy barbell, quit eating the pancake diet, eat a healthy, clean diet, get some sunshine, lift some weights, right? That's what you need to do. I need some peace and quiet. Coach never shuts up, right? Y'all got some peace and quiet. I step out for a minute. You guys heard me quit yapping my trap. Marco, this is a fitness-only channel. Why are you asking about guitars? Would you like to continue to post in here? We're not answering fitness-related, non-fitness-related questions anymore in any of these streams. You know that. We've made that rule. Next, but you did ask me how much sled work did you do? I filmed it. I probably need to increase it. The sled work's getting easier and easier. I probably need to increase the amount of it. Do a lot of people lie about their gear use, like why so many jack people and bodybuilders discredit old school bodybuilders because they aren't as lean. But yeah, right. They're discrediting people who use less drugs than them. Come on. Like how many of these guys are like Arnold, man? Arnold had better genetics than all these guys who hate on Arnold. He used less drugs than they did. That's it. I still eat below maintenance even with pancakes. Yeah, but you're eating so you're saying you're struggling with depression, but you're eating pancakes every day. Maybe eat healthier food, man. It will help with your mental state. It will help with your mental health. Again, healthy, clean diet, lifting weights, clean living, stay sober, right? Or as the Hulkster used to say, you got to eat your vitamins and say your prayers, brother. Marco, all good. Just be aware we have made a repeated rule. I do not go on the non-fitness topics anymore, if possible, in any of the streams. This channel itself, all fitness. Now, it's okay. You didn't know that, but all the regulars know that. So let's stay on topic, guys. Fitness only channel. This is a fitness only channel. Ooh. The shoulders be popping when I hold a cup, though. All right, so get back down. You guys are tired of hearing me slurp coffee. All right. I take a multivitamin, but you need more healthy food in your diet, man. I cut volume, Carol says, all fluff, left only necessary isolation, start progressing like especially on maxes. I mean, my lifts are going back up. I've cut out all the fluff other than curls. Literally, curls are like my only fluff, and they're not really fluff. I'm going kind of hard on those curls. Although maybe my band curls could be. Could you admit that carnivore is a good diet if you're trying to find tolerances? No. Carnivore is absolutely not suitable as an elimination diet. How could you possibly use a carnivore as an elimination diet? There's no actual application or any methodology available to do that. Like, that's insane. And it's not because I'm anti-carnivore. It's that it is impossible to use the carnivore diet as an elimination diet. Let me state that again. It is impossible to use a carnivore diet as an elimination diet. Why? The carnivore diet cuts out more than 2 foods. Cuts out multiple foods. How can you possibly use it to find intolerances when you're cutting out multiple foods at the same time? That by default makes it completely unusable as an elimination diet for dietetic purposes. Do you not understand how an elimination diet works? You go through and you look for the common culprits and you cut one thing and one thing only out of your diet. So if you're checking for lactose intolerance, you cut out all milk. You continue to eat the exact same foods. Like, this is what a dietitian will do. If they think you have an intolerance to whatever it happens to be, gluten, you will cut all the gluten out of your diet and you will leave all the other stuff in. So if you eat ice cream every day, you have to continue to eat ice cream every day. Make sense? So an elimination diet, you can't cut multiple things out. So if you eat ice cream 7 days a week and you're testing for, say, gluten, you have to keep eating ice cream. Make sense? All right. No, that's not how it works. Yeah, that's not how you test for it. So a dietitian is going to think you're crazy. Why don't you do intolerances the way you're supposed to check for them? All right. How would you describe your personal coaching style? Tough love, no nonsense, like in your videos, or more of it? Depends on the client, Michael. Depends on the demographic of the client. I give tough love to certain demographics. Some people, it's more of a bro. It's definitely more of a gentle touch with most of my women. I don't give them as much tough love. I sometimes do if I have to. My dudes over 40, it's more of a bro friendship type coaching. Dudes in their 20s, dudes who are 30, dude, it is straight tough love. Like, literally, your squat was higher than giraffe pussy. Fix it. So it really depends on who the person and what they need personally. What makes you think Sam Sulek is a genetic freak? He is having insane side effects at a young age from his drug use. Sam is a product of extreme drug abuse, not genetic freaks. He's not going to be, no. People need to quit fanboying people and go, just because you're a huge fan of them doesn't mean they have a certain amount of potential. Like, all the top bodybuilders are even saying, yeah, no, Sam doesn't have the genetics to be, a Mr. Olympia. He doesn't. All right. Marco, There's no set answer to that. Depends on how many clients I have and how much work each one needs. There's no set answer. No, Sam, look at the ridiculous amount of side effects Sam was having even 2 years ago. Like his health was already deteriorating, all the heavy breathing. You could see the signs of the chest cavity inflammation from the drugs. No, coaching isn't necessarily stressful. Pancake. And that's in no way being disrespectful to Sam. He seems like a decent enough kid. Like, I don't dislike him as a person in any way. Hey, Marco, I'm not going to go into all my personal business model. So let's go to your channel. Let's check something. You're a very new account to be going into all this. You already brought up non-other stuff. Next, coach, are you willing to? That's the easiest way to weed out trolls. As soon as they do anything that seems slightly trolly, if it's a profile that's been made in the last month, there's somebody previously banned. Super easy. Coach, no, I'm not willing to make a prediction for Sam. I was a trainer, but I was paranoid of my clients getting hurt. Well, what do you mean paranoid? Why don't you just be a good coach? I mean, people are going to get hurt occasionally. It's the nature of the game. Although for my clients, 99% of the hurt is outside the lifting, right? I mean, occasionally pulls or things are going to happen while even people are doing what you say, because if they're moving heavy weight, these things occasionally happen. Or overuse, they don't always listen and want to do too much stuff. But in my experience as a coach, most of the gym lifting, most of the lifting where I've had clients get hurt is when they're doing something I told them not to do, or they're doing something completely off program. That is 95% right there. But the majority of the injuries are outside the gym completely. Thoughts on the value of obtaining a CSCS? No, I think they're completely useless. Case in point, I know multiple people with CSCS who can't coach their way out of a wet paper bag. So what good are they? If there are people who can't coach who have a CSCS, how valuable is it really? I let all my personal training certs expire. I've been certified as a personal trainer. I let it expire. I don't care. I know I disagree with Mike on a lot of stuff. I agree with Mike on some stuff. I disagree on others. Sam's really great. Are you really going to compare Sam to Arnold? I hope you're kidding. I really hope you're kidding. We're not even in the same tier of genetics. Just stop. That's total fanboyism. Hey, Pancake, I don't want to go through an exhaustive list of every single thing I agree or disagree with Mike on, dude. This is the Jason Blaha channel, not the Mike Israel channel. So let's stick with our stuff. Dehydration, a big cause of injury, not hydrating. Yeah, dehydration. Yeah, Logan, you're totally trolling. Peppermint, he has to be trolling. There's no way, unless he's a total obsessed fanboy, that he honestly is comparing Sam to Arnold. Just stop. Just stop, bro. But Scott, I agree. Dehydration absolutely causes injuries, pulls. I mean, they're not necessarily a scam, but you're paying more for electrolyte drinks when you could just mix your own stuff. Like I buy straight up potassium salts and things. I mean, I've literally seen ones that are very expensive. They're a good mix, but it's like, dude, you could make that for 10% of the cost. Some of the ones that are out there. Yeah, but Logan, look at the drug side effects he was having even at 21. They were out of control. Like he is shortening his lifespan, or he is purely a drug product at that point. Could you just link? I mean, I buy sea salts. I do potassium salt off Amazon. So go find potassium citrate. You can find potassium citrate by the kilogram on Amazon, Pancake. You can mix your own sweeteners into stuff. It's really easy to make your own drinks. It's super cheap to make your own electrolyte drinks. Like, I don't drink just straight water. I always add electrolytes to all my water, for example. I do it by the gallon, right? These days, because again, I'm trying to stay really hydrated. What tips you have to fight off your constant hunger? Fasting, coffee, lots of fiber. We do have to accept at a certain point you are going to be hungry when cutting. If you're actually going to cut instead of just slowly losing weight somewhere. Is a banana, water, and salt enough? I don't know, Scott. Scott, context, I eat like 8 grams of potassium a day. You know how many bananas that would be? That would be like 5,000 calories of bananas. No, joking aside. So again, I don't know. You need to look at your total intakes, plug them into some stuff, and kind of see how much potassium you're getting. But for me, because I'm doing a lot of stuff and I'm doing all the fasted cardio, I've been in the heat a lot, sweating a lot. I've been hammering all my electrolytes super high. All right, salts. Another reason the scale hasn't really dropped further, even though I'm probably losing fat, but definitely losing fat. Mustafa, what's up, man? Trying to get this finished up before we eat. Did my squat with 200 pounds today. It's my starting point. Those were 0 reps in reserve, though, right? You didn't just like leave a bunch of reps. What do you mean start easier? Mustafa, I thought you followed my channel, brother. Those need to be hard sets. We don't start easier. You already have been squatting for higher reps. What do you mean? You tell me you were going to do triples, that better been a weight you would fail the 5th rep on, guaranteed. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time, right? Get in there and actually go hard. You get enough sleep. Okay. Belty, hey man, I appreciate it, brother. Another super good meal. Post-workout, and I had some brown rice and broccoli and ground beef. Is this a perfect meal? I think so. Belty, I'll run with it. Hopefully it was a leaner beef, not just a super high fat. A leaner type of ground beef with brown rice and broccoli, you'll get my stamp of approval. Which I think a log press is a good movement. All right. Well, I'm not making absolute bank. They add up. They definitely add up. No, they don't compare with the coaching and stuff, but it does add up, man, and it all counts, and I appreciate all of them. So thank you, guys. Should I stay aware? No, just be aware of your total saturated fat. Coke Zero has some. It's not lots. There's a little bit in there. I ate 5 pounds of yogurt today. Not hungry at all. There you go. Lots of white potatoes and yogurt. Good stuff, Mustafa. Okay. Good stuff, brother. Let me take this pedaling up a notch. Yeah, it's not plenty, but there is some in there. I probably get 4 or 5 grams of potassium a day from my food, and then I add potassium salts to stuff. Daniel, sure, there's money in it, but it's going to depend on outreach and what you're doing. Of course, there's money. There are people who are millionaires off of it. The question is, are you going to be? Oh, I don't know about that. Statistically, probably not. Getting leaner, and of course, there you go, Mustafa. You're a very lean guy, though, already, Mustafa. Like, you started really skinny, as you noted, so you have a different set of struggles than other guys do, You have different struggles than a lot of other people. I'm on that other end. I started at over 300 pounds. And so, for me, gaining is easy. Staying lean is the hard part, right? I've never been skinny like you are. I have no concept of what that's like. I've never been there. Just like you probably have no concept of what it's like to weigh over 300 pounds, Right? So So yeah. So these are my list: 305 bench, 335 safety bar squat, 330 squat, 505 double. What? Are you sure that's a double overhand? Like, is that with straps or what are you talking about? Dude, that's crazy high. Hey, PS5, you're not going to like this. If you legit double overhand 500 deadlift, I want to see video. Come on, dude. Because that's crazy. But that might be what's limiting you is not doing a mixed grip. Good stuff, Mustafa. So Mustafa's in the Facebook saying usually hungrier when leaner, and I like it because I eat more protein and vegetables. Yeah, fair. All right. Coach, there was a guy in here a few weeks ago claiming the same thing. I know, right? But PS5s are regular. It's like he's not that guy. You know. I think I had a guy a guy got angry. He was claiming like a 585 double overhand. I'm like, dude, you can't make claims like that without video footage. You just can't, because that's insane. That's literally like saying, hey, I bench 550. Well, you better have some footage of that. Daniel, I'm not going to give you advice on that. This is Fitness Channel, man. I can't tell you how to run your business and balance all your stuff. Yeah, we need to see that. Is some of strength genetics? Yeah, it's absolutely a genetic component. Do some people gain strength faster, easier, and others have a stronger base? Yeah, of course. Felty, absolutely. Absolutely. And there's epigenetics involved too, right? Your lifestyle, even before you got into training, will absolutely affect how you respond to training. That's reality, right? People who started doing sports at 12 years old versus people who played video games and started training at 23, there's going to be night and day difference. Just, you have to accept that. Your lifestyle, even what you did through your teens, is going to affect what happens in your 20s when you train. Dramatically affect it. Like to the point where it's almost not fair. So literally someone who started playing sports and being high level of activity at say 12 or 13, it's almost not even fair to compare them to someone who starts at 23 and play video games. Like it's really completely feels like an unfair advantage. But they did all that work for all those years. They did it in more formative years. So yeah, they're going to just destroy you. Right? So you always have to keep that in mind. So it's not just genetics, but those, previous lifestyles. Can we see me at 205? I don't even know about 205. We're under 200. Yeah. I mean, when I'm under 200, I think we'll see the real differences. So we're down in the 190s. Appreciate that context. But you always have to keep that context. But we accept those things. I get people who are like, I've had people who are like, that's almost not fair. But I'm like, it is fair. They made a choice to go do sports and run and jump and be active at 13, while other people chose to play video games. Like it was a choice that we made, but we always have to accept those choices, right? We have to accept those choices. It's just part of it. All right. It's already noon. We started my feed window, but I want to pedal just a little longer. Especially we're getting decent views, man. No, you're right, Mustafa. I'm just going to take my time. That's why I'm hitting the sodium, potassium hard, drinking lots of water. I'm staying hydrated, even if it keeps more pounds on me. My performance is better. My workouts are great. My cardio is great. So if I'm able to burn through more calories, it's still better, even if we're holding water. Your channel's on fire. I don't know if it's on fire, Daniel. It's not where it was at its peak, but it might get there. I'm hoping eventually it will purely all fitness content as I get leaner, promote more athletic stuff, more health stuff. I'm kind of hoping it will get back to as good as it was at its peak when I was doing a little more drama. Right? Felty says, I was definitely the kid and young adult playing video games and eating candy. You're right. We pay a price for that. Let's see. Here we go again. All right, we check his start date. Yeah, he's a troll. It's a new account. He made it today. We already know. on my coordination, right? Well, there is that cart. You can't discount that completely. All right. Yeah, no, he's a new account. I caught it. I already knew it when he started asking all the business related stuff. I'm like, I bet you if he's a new account today, it's going to be on the radio trying to get rid of him. So we already know. We know how to spot them. And then we move on and get back over to fitness topics. But as far as that other question earlier, just keep the red meat is fine, healthy, as long as it's leaner cuts, right? Because why are certain lifts so much harder to progress? They only are for certain people. Some of them are just a percentage of the weight. You know, when you have, like people will point it out with the strict overhead press, I'm like, but it's a lighter weight than the other lifts. So the adding 5 pounds or 10 pounds to it, because it's a much lighter weight, that's a larger percentage. Some weight lifts are going to be harder based on leverage differences. But sometimes it's just for you. It's your genetics and leverages sometimes, right? How much does a camber bar weigh with no weights? It depends on how much the manufacturer put in it. How much metal did the maker put in it? My camber bar is 85 pounds. Another camber bar might be 70. So a camber bar weighs the exact amount of metal that the manufacturer put in it. It's not standardized. Does a day of very little carbs really drop much weight? Sometimes it can. It can drop water. Yeah, sometimes. Camber bar squat, 85. So yeah. So that's what mine are too, PS5. So my safety bar is 60 pounds. It's technically 61, but we count it as 60. My camber is 85. SSB's not standardized either, Shamar. They can vary. They can be 45. I've seen them at 50. I've seen them at 60. From Titan. Yeah, mine are Titan also. So both of mine are Titans. We have the same bars. PS5, same bars. Exact same bars. But no, there's no industry standard. It's not like Olympic bars and deadlift bars, and it's not an industry standard. But even squat bars vary. So like the Texas squat bar, like I use, is 55, but it's not necessarily standardized because it's a squat bar. Once we step away from the standard bar, there's whatever the manufacturer, how much metal they put in them, and what they're doing with the angles and size and so on. The only downside of being fit is having to pee all the time, right? Dude, I know that struggle. Especially during the time when you're drinking the most water and stuff. Like for me, with all the coffee, sometimes that's what's getting me. Going through all that coffee during the fasted window. Absolutely. All right. How much water do you drink a day? Probably at least a gallon. I don't track it, honestly. If I start adding all the coffee, all the water, over a gallon, definitely. I think Samson Lee could be the next actor because he's getting really. Being popular on social media doesn't mean you're going to be a good actor or get acting jobs. That's not how it works. You think coffee? Yeah, I think coffee has a net positive health effect overall, especially because of the glycemic control and stuff. The benefits for insulin disposal, insulin sensitivity. Yeah, definitely. Has antioxidants. It is a stim though, so there can be some negatives to the stimulant, but it's a net positive. Have they been the next Arnold? Yeah, because pro bodybuilders just generally don't make it as actors. I mean, even Batista, he had to downsize to really make it. And, think of some of the roles he got typecast in, right? I mean, the closest you had is The Rock and Batista, but they're coming from wrestling. Pro bodybuilders are not generally desirable as actors. Keep in mind, Arnold came from an era when they had good bodies, to where the average person thought they looked good. They don't look good anymore. So that's a factor. But even then, Arnold downsized a little bit. He didn't stay at his Mr. Olympia size. I haven't heard anything about James Tiny Vest lately at all. I'm gonna go ahead and end the Facebook. It's dead in there. Had some good comments though. And I'm probably gonna go ahead and end this so I can go hit the restroom and get ready to eat. All right, guys. So I'm gonna wind this down though. I love you guys, and I will talk to you next time.